Are you recording right now?
I know, I can't see.
Okay. Yeah. One of the strategies I use is that I won't fill up my Amazon cart. I'll put it in a list and I'll keep it within the list. And then if there's something I do want to buy, after 3 days, right? If I'm still thinking about it, then I'll purchase it. Especially if it's okay to purchase it for myself during that month. But if like I can't remember it, ADHD for memory, if I forget about it, then I obviously didn't really want it that much. But there are things that I just have where it's listed as things I want, and I'll go back into that list and I'll pick something that I'm like, okay, I budgeted this in or budgeted some money where I can go and buy some things that I like, and then I'll put it in my cart and then actually buy it. But I don't personally keep things in my Amazon cart because that's too much of a just impulsive thing to do where then I can just click buy, you know. And I think also just knowing how to budget, especially for someone with ADHD, right? I think that with groceries, sometimes that can be a money suck. And it's because of the fact that, you may be a person who struggles with ADHD. You put something within a drawer and we call it like out of sight, out of mind, or kind of object permanence is what people will specifically use. And that basically means like you put it in that drawer, it does not exist anymore. You will not remember it all of a sudden. You'll go to the grocery store, buy the same item, come back, open up that drawer, and you're like, oh, it's almost like tricking your mind into remembering objects or remembering things, or just putting things where it's like friendly to your brain, right? And usually we call it like ADHD friendly fridges, because then you can see things the way that they should. Like I'll put larger items in the back versus the front, and I won't let it like kind of cover anything, so that I can see everything in my fridge and know what's in there. And that helps me be able to not then go to the grocery store and buy the same thing or buy the same item because I forgot about it, right? And so, there are just these small things that in the day-to-day become really important, because then by the end of the week, you're wondering, okay, I am out of like $50, $100. And it's because of those kind of small things that, can just be on the wayside. But I think financial literacy is pretty important for anyone, whether they have a disability or whether they have a mental illness, because I think that the way we utilize money, depending on what we have or what we struggle with, it can look different, but it can also be detrimental to our health in the long run. The reality is that if you're not really good financially with money, then can you pay for things like your medication? Can you pay for your doctor's appointments? Do you know information on how to shop on the best insurances for yourself? Even for a lot of people with disabilities, or even a lot of older people as well, do you have a plan for what happens if you can no longer take care of yourself, or who will handle your finances, right? And all those things become so important for pre-planning, or for the future, because those become, you're not thinking about in the moment, and then poof, all of a sudden you have to have that information ready, right? But you haven't talked to anyone about it, or you don't have the information to be able to facilitate how do I get insurance? How do I get life insurance? How do I get things that will help me, and how do I pay for them, and who's going to take care of my estate, or who's going to take care of my finances if I can't do that anymore, or if I even need some help to do that, who can I trust, right? So those are so many questions at the same time that people usually have to think about when tragedy happens, or where the situation forces them to, not prior to, where then the hope is that when they do think about it prior to that time, they're calm, they're collected, they know what steps to take, and they're not worried about what comes next, right? Because they have that part thought out. So